Moving on, you have looked at the worksheet and you have identified now and you've become aware of behaviours that are definitely in your strength and in your favour, and you've also identified behaviours that maybe you need to take on. We've taken a couple of suggestions from the experts and from past pupils to try and maybe highlight them for you and to see maybe how you could bring them into your study and increase your point score. So, taking 5 key areas of how to increase your point score. Firstly, dealing with distractions. Distractions is something we all have in our lives, and it's the thing that pulls us away, takes away our attention and our focus from what it is we're about. Now, when we think about it, when we mention distractions, there are 2 main sources from where distractions come from. First, there's distractions that come from our environment. Noise, perhaps in your house, etc. And we'll talk about them in just a moment. And then there's the distractions that come from inside your head, your thoughts. And we'll have a little reflection on that now in just a moment. Firstly, the external distractions. You need to move very, very quickly to eliminate as much of distraction from your study life as possible. So, 3 sources of distraction. 1, clutter. 2, music and TV. 3, people. Now, the first, clutter, I can almost hear you say, clutter is not a distraction for me. My room, my study area is clutter, but it's not a distraction. Remember what I was saying earlier, the fact that you don't think and feel it's a distraction doesn't mean it's not having a negative impact. If you tidy your room, get it organised, you will see the difference. And also remember, you're studying 7 subjects and perhaps more with huge volumes of information. That requires you to be organised in itself. Next point is distractions that come from music, TV, Facebook, social networking, etc. There's a lot of distractions that you can get very easily caught up in there. Now, sometimes students say, not me. I'm not giving up my music. I can concentrate well with music in the background. And you know, you're correct. I think there are studies to show that students can concentrate better with music in the background. And besides, music I think is often used by students to kind of cope with the loneliness of study. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that as we go on further. But just a point about music. The Department of Education do not allow your MP3 player into your exam. There's no form of music allowed in the Leaving Cert. So if you set up music for your study, what you're doing is you're creating a link between study and your music for your poor subconscious brain. So it's very, very easy for you to get hooked on the idea of music and for that link to be created. And that's not a good thing. You must break that link. And unfortunately, we do need to ask you to stop the music during study. Now, the next distraction are people. Well, friends calling, people texting you, mobile phone, on computer, etc. Be very conscious, first of all, of the distractions that are taking place. And be very conscious how much time it's taking from what your focus and attention should be on. So, dealing with the distractions then, the internal distractions inside your head. Very often we get caught up and wrapped up in our thoughts, and if something has gone wrong in our lives, for example, we've had a conflict with a parent or a friend or something like that, it's something that can churn over in our minds over and over and over again. And it can be a distraction, and when we come to study, it's on our minds and it's pulling us away. The best thing to do is not to suppress it, not to get rid of it entirely, but to park it. In other words, what we suggest is you write down, again, not in detail, but you write down what this distraction is. You're doing 2 things here. You're identifying clearly what the distraction is, so you're becoming conscious of it. And also, you're putting it out of your head onto paper and say to yourself, I'll revisit that distraction. It does need to be dealt with, but I'm just parking it for the moment and get on with your study. That's worked very well for students who've gone before you. The other thing we'd say is students should definitely learn a form of deep relaxation. Deep relaxation is extremely powerful, and it's sports people who are bringing the benefits of deep relaxation now to us in terms of increased sports performance and deep focused relaxation. Because deep relaxation improves your focus and your attention span. And it also, apparently, neuropsychologists are now telling us that the type of chemical produced in the brain is one very conducive to concentration and to study from deep relaxation. So it's something that you definitely should learn. Now, it's beyond the scope of this webcast to teach you how to engage and how to take on this strategy of deep relaxation. But we have put a worksheet on Careers Portal website, and you could work through it, and it's a very simple form of relaxation that we think that you should start doing for yourself.